rowdy good evening from Mumbai. This is the ninth episode of the Hospitality Show, hosted from Mega Classic Banquet Hall, Borivali. This show, which is powered by rich hotels and resorts all around the world, is being viewed by many and has been acquired by many from the industry. This episode is live on YouTube and as well as Facebook. And if you miss to watch this episode here online, you can always watch it on our YouTube and Facebook channels, which will be live from 9 o'clock onwards. Please do post your views, comments, and we will look forward to improvising ourselves while viewing at your comments. In this show, we have got some stalwarts of this industry who are more than a decade experienced in the sector. We had the legends on the show, and today I have my good friend, a good well-wisher of mine, a great human being indeed, who will be with us for the next 1 hour. And to do the honors for him, I will call upon Dimple Madani to introduce the guest of the evening, Mr. Virat Kapoor. Dimple, over to you.
Thank you, sir. Namaste and good evening to all our online viewers. Welcome to the 9th episode of the Hospitality Show, hosted by Dr. Ananth Vaidyanathan, CEO, Touch of Class, in conversation with Mr. Virat Kapoor. Mr. Virat Kapoor brought up in Muscat and then moved to Mumbai to complete his graduation. Post his graduation, he proceeded to Manchester to get his MBA. Once he returned, his elder brother and him conceptualized Sammy Sosa, a Mexican good joint, initially to be a small cafe. A traveler by nature, exposed him to various culture, from where he till today picks up various ideas and concepts to introduce in Sammy Sosa. A dynamite personality by nature, he is very hands-on in the restaurant and very helpful to everyone who comes across his path. Established Sammy Sosa in 2008, along with his brother Samrat Kapoor. It was the very first authentic Mexican restaurant in Mumbai and was boasted the most extensive beer menu in the country. We were featured in Financial Times Pan India for the extensive beer list. In 14 years of operations, he has won 5 times Food Award for the best Mexican food in Mumbai. After the initial success, we opened other 2 outlets, a 6,000 square feet outlet in Navi Mumbai in 2017 and the 3rd outlet in 2018-19 in Malad. Sammy Sosa is renowned for his hospitality and set a very high standard for customer experience. Our sincere belief is that customer satisfaction is the utmost priority. So ladies and gentlemen, with a round of applause, please welcome Mr. Virat Kapoor.
Good evening, Mr. Virat.
Good evening. Good evening to everyone listening in. A big thank you for having me on the show today. It's been a pleasure to know you, and it's been a good 15 years since we've had your guidance helping us. So it's a pleasure to be on the show today.
Welcome. It's our honor too. So let me start with a simple question like this, Mr. Virat.
Yes.
How good you feel that you are a hotelier, and how did you end up in this hospitality sector?
So firstly, just to say, I'm very proud to be part of the hospitality industry. It's a lot of people don't get due credit for the amount of time and effort it goes to run the show. The behind the scenes, the day-night sweat that we have to put in to make the show carry on. No one understands. A lot of times people associate glamour and show to restaurants, but they don't see that we are working on New Year's Eve, we are working on Valentine's Day, Diwalis, festivals, personal occasions, birthdays. That's all put aside. We make sure that other people enjoy their special occasions at the cost of our own. So I think it's a round of applause to everyone who's part of this industry. That's including you. People should appreciate that. And how I got there is, I think destiny has its own course. So, I'm not formally from the hospitality background in terms of education. I've done my graduation in banking. I've done my post-graduation in international business. It just happened to be at the right time. I happened to be in Bombay. my brother Samrat Kapoor, who is the say my equal partner for the last 15 years, and he wanted to set up a restaurant, and I happened to be around, and we said, why not we try something? And we were very young and naive. We didn't know what we were getting into. We had only the guidance of our father and mother, and obviously we met you on the way, who showed us the right steps to get into this business. And I can proudly say, we are happy to be where we are 14 years down this line. It was something that we were always, we enjoyed eating out, we had passion for food. We were exposed to different kind of cuisines growing up. I grew up out of India, so we knew what international food was from a very young age. That gave us a kickstart. We had the right idea. And it was the sometimes the naiveness of youth. When you're young, you feel you can capture the world, and that's what pushed both of us to start something which we had no idea about.
Very nice, very nice. I do remember the days when I used to meet Mr. Virat Kapoor when he was doing a modeling for Pepsi ads. Those days I cannot forget in 2006-7 when I was a general manager of Time and Again, and you were staying above that, and Mr. Virat and Mr. Samrat were known to me from those days onwards. And it has been a pleasure journey working with you for all these years. And I'm really proud, immensely feeling proud that we still continue our respect for each of us, and we still have the same wavelength, and we have been working together. It's a rare opportunity, but I'm proud that I'm still with you and will continue to be with you. Let me start with a witty note. Let me ask you something about your school days, college days, your your journey in Muscat. Then you came across Mumbai. This is what I was not knowing. As I'm coming to the show, I'm knowing about all these things. So how was your school days, college days? How naughty you were? How flirty you were? How many girlfriends? All those things you can open out. Your wife will not come up. After 20 minutes, she'll join.
So first, to tell you that she's watching this show, so I have to mind what I say. But on a serious note, I had a very nice childhood. I grew up in the Middle East, Muscat, a little bit to Dubai, Abu Dhabi eventually. It's a very different environment there because you don't have a lot of cousins or other friends and family. You depend on your immediate family for your entire support system. So that makes the small family very cohesive. You respect and you take care of each other in a very different way because you fend for yourself. Also, growing up in an environment that's outside of India, it helped us to be more aware. You're representing not only yourself but also the entire community. Your actions speak. So when you are outside, you need to know how things are a little different from India, how you need to be responsible for certain things coming in, especially growing up in the Middle East at a time when communication was not so easy. I mean, there was no emails also, so just a rare phone call here and there. So, you really had to know, you had to be aware. And I think that helped us growing up. Now when we travel or when we get into situations that are seemingly difficult, having that kind of experience of staying outside really helps you. You know how to handle things differently. So I think that was a positive that I come out from there. And growing up, we came from a very nice and happy family. I think we were supported through and through. I've been crazy for sports growing up, being part of all my teams, was a school captain, took part in all athletics, cricket, football. I still do. I still play soccer twice a week. No matter how tired I might be after work, I will make sure I'm playing football. I think that's recreational and it gives you passion. That passion drives you. And in life, I think, whatever you enjoy, you should do it with absolute passion. Even work, even going for a walk, even reading, it keeps you going. That's the part of essence of life. And to be honest with you, it's the passion I have seen of you having this kind of enthusiasm for the hospitality work that I've always seen the passion come from you. So similarly, I think the passion for me has always been sports. It still is. And when it comes to naughtiness, I don't think I was that naughty. I think my parents will agree on that. I was always hardworking. I enjoyed my studies, to be very honest with you. I wouldn't say I put in a lot of hours in, but I put constructive time in. I like to make friends. I love to communicate. I had a fantastic time making new friends and meeting new people and going to different places. Like you've already said, I love traveling. And I think that's part of the sort of it grew while growing up. I grew up with that idea of experimenting and seeing new places. Hence, I think I would say I'm a traveler in and out.
Okay. Okay. How much do you believe in sustainable restaurant management?
Oh, so you've directly gone to work. I would definitely, that's a fantastic question to ask. Uh, Firstly, just letting you know, when you're starting a business, is not how much you have, is how much you can put in. People just feel that if I have 100 rupees, I'll start a restaurant with 100 rupees. It doesn't work that way. If you are starting business and you have 500 rupees everywhere, you might have to put everything in eventually one day. So you need to be sure of what you're getting into. So different situations require different kind of strategies. So when we were starting in with the first outlet, we were definitely far more conservative. We would hold on to the funds. We were lucky enough that we got a good response from the start itself. So we didn't need to struggle to fill our daily requirements. So break even was a little easier to achieve. Also taking into mind that the situation was different back then. The rentals were a little less, the competition was lesser. So you could manage to live life a little easy. You could start slow and build the momentum going up. However, now situation has changed. When you enter from day one, the meter started. The rents are in, the salaries are coming, people are asking for payments, the competition is driving up the wall, the commissions, the aggregators, the marketing. So now, if I look at business, I would say that the strategy has to be a little bit different. Initially, I would say that you could take a little slowly, you could build on it, but now I would say when you start business, you need to have your game set from day one. I don't think there is time in today's world to screw up the first few times or to take your time to settle in. You should know what you're getting into. Your costing should be in place. Your ideology should be in place. You should know who your target audience is. And I think most importantly, your strategy, once you make it, you just stick to it. I think that's one of the most difficult things is to stick by, because there will come circumstances where you want to waver off. When, like you said, sustainability is hard to find. You'll find maybe revenue not coming enough, maybe break even not happening. But that's the time where you need to say, hey, I started this venture with an idea and I need to follow it up, because it's very easy to deviate, but the people who stick to the ideology are the ones who succeed. That's what we have noticed over the period of time. You need to stick to your guns, and you need to make things happen. You need to push through.
Very true. You know why I jumped inside the question without telling any comment for the second question? Because you did not open up about your girlfriends at all.
So, no, I mean,
That's
see, like I said, my college days were in Bombay. I was in Jai Hind. I've done my master's from Manchester, and I've had a decent share of girlfriends. Now I'm married, happily married, I must say. I found
yeah.
a fantastic partner. She's been supporting me through and through for the last 8 years. So I would say I'm happy that I had experiences before that helped me develop as an individual, and now I am, where I'm enjoying this part of life as well.
This is what every married man says. He's very happy after the marriage. Now let me come to that. Now, what has Virat changed? How has Virat changed after marriage?
Okay, so when I say change, it's obviously it's a progression which everyone's life has. A little bit more responsibility comes your way, but responsibility not in the bad sense. I think in a good sense that when you are slightly younger, you do a lot of exploring, a lot of experiences, and when you grow up, you want to share them. So when you find the right person to share the experiences, it makes the happiness twice as much. So it has helped me change, where now I obviously have a certain amount of more courage, a little bit more confidence, because luckily my wife has always been there to support and to say, you know what, hey, don't worry, this will work out. So sometimes the self-doubt, it's being say it helps me move away and move towards more confidence, more happiness. You stay for one another, you help each other through difficult circumstances. And I would also say that being married for 8 years has also taught me a lot about myself, because it you can reflect on yourself, on how you should improve yourself. So when you're in a long term relationship, it's the effort that you put in that comes out on your partner. So sometimes your partner might not be in the best space, but a part of it is your responsibility. So certain spaces has helped me improve as a person, to think better, to evaluate my actions, not only for myself, even for her and people around me.
So I have met your wife quite one or two times. She's also into some business, right?
Yes, so she's a very gifted person. She was into packaging and gifting. She was heavily. She had her own business. She should do corporate packaging, personalized gifting, and I think she also had a lifestyle change 2 3 years back when she became a very holistic person. So she has done a extensive yoga course from the Yoga Institute in Santa Cruz. She is a certified yoga trainer.
Wow.
She changed her lifestyle. We moving towards a vegan diet. We eat wholesome foods, we meditate, we read well, and more than anything, we are conscious about our own actions. We are very strong in the environmental impact that our actions have. So it's been a journey. Like I said, the more we have had time, the more we've supported each other, and we have seen each other grow. So her yoga journey helped me also get introduced to yoga. So now on a daily basis, I'm able to draw from her, and I'm a fitness enthusiast.
Yeah.
I'm crazy about working out. So that's what my wife has taken from me, and she joins me in workouts. I join her in yoga. So we drive and we push. Sometimes I even complain. Sometimes she complains, but that's what keeps us going. That's what makes a partnership.
Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. How does your family on both your brother is a partner in your business, I know, right?
Yes.
Your father, mother, your wife, your sister-in-law. How does they all support you in the business, or are they part of the business?
So just to tell you, I mean, ours is a family business by the actual term of it. That our father was not involved in it, in physically setting up, but I think his blessings and guidance have always been there for us. He might not get involved in day-to-day basis, but he knows, or he can predict our business better than any one of us can. So that's hats off to him. He's got his own experience, but we've always had him to support us. My mother, she's very loving, very caring, supportive. My sister-in-law, my brother, though I can't even say that this would be existing without him, because he was part of the creation of Sammy Sosa. Both of us, say we joined hands, and they say ek aur ek 11. That's what happened. To be honest with you, we were not from this industry, that none of our family or us had ever even opened a cafe in our lives. And to open a restaurant in Andheri, two guys alone. I was 21 years old, Samrat was 23 years old. So, we were barely out of college, that kind of age. And it was the love, the support of our family together that helped us get through this. And it's not once, it's not twice. There are even occasions now where sometimes you have a negative experience and you want to give up. It's their strength and support that keeps us going. I'm being very honest with you. It's their perpetual advice, support, the love to carry on, that don't worry, things will work out. And I'm proud to have a close knit family that supports us.
Very nice. Though I do know about your family. It's a beautiful united family. Your parents I had a beautiful interaction with your parents, and it's a long time association, and I always cherished being associated with them. Now, Mr. Virat, you tell me, Sammy Sosa and consistency are like two good pals. I can call it that. Two good pals in life. How do you maintain that?
So you've brought up a fantastic point, actually. So consistency for me is the willingness never to give up. your desire should be that every dish that goes out, every guest you serve, every employee you hire should be done with utmost intent and with a positive attitude. There will be circumstances which you might not succeed, but that does not allow you not to try. The effort has to be made, and over a time this effort becomes a habit, that things must be fine. We don't accept that even if a guest is ordered for a glass of water, even if that is not served the right way, if that does not feel well intended, it does not work for us. And sometimes, Samrat and me, we get into arguments that, hey, I think we should let this go. Okay, why are we stressing on this? It's 1 out of 1,000 or 1 out of 100. But somewhere in us, we it hurts us to even see that 1% out of 100 was not satisfied. So when you have that kind of hunger, that intent to make things right, I think that's where you are consistent. It matters. Everyone and everything matters to us. And over a period of time, we've realized that we need to inculcate this not only among the owners, but all our partners. For me, everyone we work with, all our employees are co-workers. And when they see that the owners of the organization have this intent, they want to emulate this kind of action. So even they feel responsible. Tomorrow, if there is a complaint, he feels negative. He says, okay, why should a guest say something wrong about the restaurant? And it happens once in a while, but I have 100 guests who are happy as well. So it's a learning process. But like I said, it's not the outcome, it's the intent. Our intent is to be honest, to serve good food, and to make our guests happy. That's the intent. So I think that's where we are consistent, because our intentions have never changed. From day one to day now, Samrat and me will be happier to have 10 happy guests than to do X amount of business. Because business might come and go, but the happiness of a guest cannot be compensated for. That fulfillment is no amount of money can give you that kind of satisfaction. So that's what we have believed in, and I guess that's what shows in the eventual outcome.
Wonderful reply, Mr. Virat. I have to learn from this reply, actually speaking. This is from the heart. The reply came from the heart. I'm able to understand. But the way you put it across, I think every restaurateur has to learn from this. That is what I can say about it.
Thank you.
I knew that you are a frequent traveler. How much do you miss your family when you travel abroad or in India?
Unfortunately, for the last 1.5 years, travel has been difficult. But otherwise, I would be out maybe twice, thrice a year. And to be honest with you, I think a little bit of space helps to get a little closer eventually. So I don't miss them so much as in travel. But what makes it more exciting is when you come back and you share those experiences. I think that brings a family together. So I love to travel with my wife. Samrat is a rider. He's traveled to Singapore on his bike.
Yes.
With his wife. And so, it changes the perception. And maybe I cannot experience that bike ride, but through Samrat, I can at least gain that experience or the exposure that he received while he did that. So when we come back, we are always sharing our experiences, what we have gone through, and that helps us develop. So certain ways I say, little bit of distance helps us to sort of, miss each other. And once we're back, we enjoy each other's company even more.
Wonderful, wonderful. Your answers are all very, very straight and very, 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 really appealing. Anyhow, let me ask you, when you say about Samrat Kapoor going on a road trip to Singapore and coming back with his family, that really requires a lot of guts, isn't it?
Yeah, so definitely the amount of effort that he put in, I am not kidding you. I have seen him arrange for that ride. He went through 5 different countries. They rode to and back. So it was one of the most difficult journeys I've seen anyone prepare for. Mental strength, physical strength to be riding, to go through circumstances. But I think it was a ride of a lifetime. And I could say proudly that my contribution to the whole process was that I could give Samrat the opportunity to say, just go and enjoy yourself, and I'm here to handle the fort, because I know if tomorrow I had to go, he would do the same. So I think that is where family comes in, and the trust that we have, and the ability to let certain things go. I think for him to experience life is important, for him to be out there, to have that adventure. Maybe you speak to Samrat sometime on this show, he'll give you an in-depth to how exciting that entire ride was. Maybe some pictures, etc., I could show you later on. For me personally, I have seen the physical endurance that he and my sister-in-law had to go through. Is one of the most challenging things. I think they have ridden for over 51 days continuously. New destinations, new cities, international borders, police, and the way they had to cross countries like Burma, Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, to go and come back. It was a fantastic thing to even support. So I felt part of the ride, even if I was not riding, I was supporting Samrat. I still felt that I was part of the entire ride.
Kudos to Samrat and to you for him going on that. So Virat, tell me something. How strong is your SOP in place as far as the restaurant retaining the customers, as well as bringing in the new customers, as well as retaining the existing customers?
So for us as an organization, like you must have figured out before, our primary objective is to first make sure everyone who comes is retained and taken well care of. Yes, there is an effort from time and again to find new guests. That's part of business, and we need to grow. And when you're expanding, you need to keep that in mind. But I think if you are able to satisfy enough number of guests who are there, and for that the SOPs are laid down very, very, very strictly, because I see a lot of businesses in today's world are one step too ahead of themselves, where they are trying to capture the next market. But I think that the guest who's coming, is as valuable as any guest who might come, or who's even more valuable than anyone in the future, because he's there right now. So the present moment is the only moment we have. That's the moment that makes the entire difference. So it's, for us, our emphasis is always on the guest who's walked in. Miss Ananth, I'll be very candid with you. When we started off in 2008, there were days where you might have had only one guest walking in. I'm talking about maybe the first week or so. And that guest was godsend. I mean, to see a person walk into your establishment, to order the food, to enjoy the food, it made a world of a difference to us. So we realized that this person is here. We should respect the fact that his decision to eat with us has been made. We respect that. There is, obviously, as we grow business, we want to attract more guests. We want to attract different honor of different areas. That's been a part of business. But I feel that if the guest has been well satisfied, he brings. So word of mouth publicity, in no age, in whatever time you might say, is the most important form of publicity, even now.
What a wonderful answer, Mr. Virat. I think you have gained a lot of experience in the past 14 years. I know the Virat in 2008, and now the Virat, how experienced he has gained. What the answers you are giving me, I think none of the topmost hoteliers have given me in this last 8 episodes. Honestly speaking, from the heart, I'm telling you this. Anyhow, let's take a small commercial break. We'll just be out for a commercial break and we'll be back. Mr. Pradeep. This huge applause is for Mr. Vikram Kamath, who graced the show. First episode, he immediately said, "Yes, Anand, I will come in your show." First show I was started with Mr. Vikram Kamath. It was nice of him. He said, I will want to be a part of this show." And this is how Wits has been collaborated with the hospitality show now. And this show is powered by Wits Group of Hotels all over India, and he has now ventured into abroad also. It's nice seeing a 35, 36, 30 year old business entrepreneur going into various places. Now, Mr. Virat Kapoor is also on the same age, and I wish Mr. Virat Kapoor also goes to the same style what Mr. Kapoor does. Advance congrats.
Thank you. Thank you for the kind words. But I must correct you, we are 35 years young. Huh?
That's right. That's right. The more the age is just a number. Age is just a number. Absolutely. So now you tell me, I have seen the whole variety of beers from all over the country available in your restaurant. Whose idea was that? When no other restaurateurs are thought of, and I have seen so many people coming to your place only for the beer varieties which you offer. How many varieties of beers you have? Can you just throw some light on that, Mr. Virat?
So first, I will take you to 2009 when we started serving the beers. Right, you helped us obtain our liquor license, which seemed one of the most difficult things back in the day. For two boys not from Bombay. Thank you for that. So when we started off, we were on the cusp of something new happening, a beer revolution, which we were not aware of. It was in due course that we realized that we have caught on to something that is going to become really big. When we started serving these beers, we were probably 15, 20 beers in, imported beers like Hoegaarden, Stella, and Leff. To be honest with you, people couldn't pronounce Hoegaarden. I mean, no offense to anyone, but it was something that people didn't know. We had to educate them. And part of the advantage of being a small enterprise, the decisions move much faster. So when Samrat and me could take on new beers at our own expense, train ourselves, our staffs to educate the guests. And that is very important because, you could get a ex-local beer at a reasonable cost, but we had to make the beer an experience. And an experience is, something people crave for experience. So that requires information, that requires understanding what the beer is, where it was made, what contents go in. So when we explain this to our guests, they almost found that they were on this journey with us, trying a beer made in Belgium with water from so and so place, having a dark beer made in Ireland with the history of it being 100-year-old beer. So it's almost a journey that they were taken on. And it became this fun thing where, we would have a like-minded beer enthusiasts coming in and saying, I want to try every one beer that you have. Like, I don't care whether it's up to my taste. I don't care it costs 5 times with what I expected to. I just want to be trying it. So it became this experiential concept, and that gave us encouragement to invest more, to get more kinds of beers. I think Samrat made a huge effort by the beer Bible that we incorporated. It's like a fat booklet of ours, which has each and every beer on an individual page explaining the contents, the history, the make, the water, the whatsoever. So people would just come and read it. I mean, yes, now you have Google, so you can do that in a second, but maybe 10 years back, that was not the case. So it was a sort of education that we were giving certain people, which people appreciated, and they gave us love back. They encouraged, and we got featured in the Times of India, Financial Times, Pan India, for holding 51 different kinds of beers. We even did the effort to get the specific glasses that beers are served in, because there's a history behind it. There's an art behind it. Even to serve the beer, how you must rotate the bottle, how the contents of the beer must come up, is something we encourage our staff to learn. And when the guests saw that, they felt like I could be having this beer in a roadside cafe in Berlin, or I might be sitting, in Amsterdam and drinking my favorite beer there. So, they felt that they could travel without actually traveling. And that's what I encourage this process, And now the revolution has come to craft beers. from international high-ended beers. Now we are seeing the revolution where we have so many young talented brewers making their own brews in Navi Mumbai, Goa. I mean, I can name so many fantastic brewers out there, and we are glad to be associated with them. We are now serving new craft beers on tap on across each and every outlet. So I must say that this is something that we caught on very early. None of us are big fans of beer. My father loved his chill pint of beer. That's all he ever had. And for us, it became like once we started serving the beer, we started taking a taste of it. So even now, we are social drinkers. But yes, I love to have a nice beer collection. And I think that's grown for us. It's become part of a system. Like, if there are not 25, 30 beers available at Sammy Sosa, I don't feel comfortable. Like, I need to keep getting new beers. And a lot of new importers got confidence from this. And they would actually call us the first day that the beers will land and say, you know what, this is a new beer, please keep it. And we wouldn't even ask him what, where, how much. We said, just send it over. Tell us what it's about. We'll have guests calling and coming as क्या कोई नई beer आई है? Is there something new we can try? And they would be here and they would just go crazy with these beers.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So, how many varieties of beers we have now? 51, 61.
So, so we had 51 varieties of beers.
Okay.
Unfortunately, because of the pandemic, the imports have slowed down. So it's come down a bit, but we keep extending from imported beers. Now the concentration has become on new craft beers.
Okay.
We've got fantastic ciders coming in. So it's something new and exciting. And we're happy that, we're still known for that and we can live up to the reputation that we have created.
Okay. Okay. Very nice. So, Virat, tell me how important is for a hotelier to be on the site, seeing the execution of the project, the interiors, everything from the scratch. How important is it for a hotelier? I know you had been running around to Belapur when you were opening the Sammy Sosa at Belapur. So, how was it
Yes.
your experience, and how do you feel? How important is it for a hotel?
So I think it's of utmost importance. There's a saying that you are only as strong as your weakest link. And when you are developing a restaurant on site from day one, you know what your strengths are and you know where your weaknesses are going to be. So when you are aware of your strength and weaknesses of a place, you know how to handle operations. Mind you, when the restaurant is full, when there are people waiting outside, you cannot allow goof ups. And for that to happen, you should know your place. You
Yeah.
should know what's going to happen. You know how to accommodate, how to improvise. And only when you have set every stone, you know every pipeline, every switch, every exhaust, every equipment that's there, is when you can execute. Out of, I think, no matter how much planning I've done, every New Year's, every Valentine's Day, there is a screw up that had to happen. It's just fate that just 7:30 you're welcoming guests and something goes wrong. And it's only because we were there on site, especially Samrat was more on site in the developing, I am more on the floor. We know exactly what's gone in, what's gone wrong, and how we're going to fix it. So it is very important for you to be part of the planning. There are a lot of heavy footfalls that we experience in a restaurant. You're looking at 100 to 200, 300 people using those facilities day in, day out. How much water is going to be consumed, what is the kind of load that you can take, your kitchen, how many orders you can execute, how many staff is required to run this ship well. That is only and only say an aspect which you'll understand once you build the place, because you know how you built it. And with every venture or with every outlet, we have only improved on that. So in the first outlet, you're obviously more looking at a grand place with nice interiors. By the end of it, you are looking at functionality. For me, looks are important, food is, yes, very important, but the functionality is as important as anything else. Everything in this restaurant should work the way it was intended to work. Otherwise, on a busy day, you know how operations can go haywire.
Very true. Very true. Very true. Very true. I understand. I also know a lot of celebrities like Ekta Gupta, Ekta Kapoor, Remo D'Souza, and the list goes on. They keep on coming to your place time and again. What is the secret of it?
First, I must thank all of them for patronizing us and coming to us, and being our guests. Number two is obviously the food and service that they enjoy, they like. But I think there's a little bit more to it. We've never tried to monetize on that angle, neither commercialize an angle. We give them their due space, respect, and they come to us as a very regular guest looking to have some quiet time with their friends and family. And I think it's important to give them that kind of space because they feel comfortable. I mean,
True.
not to show that they are not a personality. Yes, they have achieved something which a lot of people look up to. So we also look up to them for the achievement they have in their fields. But they have come to you as a guest to enjoy your food and ambience. So I think we give them a little bit of privacy. When I say privacy, is take the nice meal, be courteous, be nice, but don't get over involved. I think they enjoy the fact that they are able to be themselves because they have come with a set of friends to have fun, just like how me go out with our friends to have a nice chat, to maybe have a drink, have some good food. We respect that, and that is what a lot of them enjoy about us, that we keep it as low key as possible. Obviously, we also attend to the fact that they have dietary requirements which we adhere to. Their special requests, if you're more than happy to make sure that they get the food of their choice. Most of them are very health conscious, so to give healthy food, to give tasty food, we ensure that, so that obviously hooks them on. But I think it's a balance of giving good food, good service, but giving them a little bit of that much required space to enjoy their private time with their family and friends.
Wonderful, 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 wonderful. I have seen both of your brothers always on the floor taking care of a customer, which is a rare scenario among the other restaurateurs in many places. Why so?
So there is a saying by Mahatma Gandhi that the best way to find yourself is to get lost in service of others.
Wow.
You know, that's something we truly believe in. I mentioned before to you that the satisfaction that Samrat and me get in seeing others happy is beyond anything I have experienced. In fact, it's during the pandemic I realized how much I miss that. Because
Oh,
when you're in the daily routine of things, work gets strenuous, so you tend to overlook these angles, or the amount of relationship that we have from our guests. I think we give them positive energy, and we love the positive energy we receive from them. And when we started the operations of a restaurant, we were very young, we were very hands on. We are still quite hands on, but back then, you have energy, you've got no fixed ideas. So sometimes that worked for us. Not being from the background made us do, I won't say mistakes, but make certain amount of adjustments which normal restaurateurs wouldn't do, because they understand business differently, and maybe we looked at it business differently, so we did everything ourselves, from taking orders to serving food to opening doors for a guest. I still valet park for any of my guests who come in. I am more than happy to, because see, they are a guest. There's a small difference between a customer and a guest. I
true.
somehow find the word guest a little bit more appropriate, because they are your customers, but we treat them like our own personal guest. It's not a commercial establishment. Our intention is to make sure that everyone who walks in is well taken care of. He enjoys his meal, he enjoys the atmosphere. So when we are there personally, I think that rapport that's created, where they come and they look forward to even meeting you, having a general conversation, and then moving on to having their favorite meal, it's become a part of the Sammy Sosa experience. So it's almost like when they walk in, they look around. Okay, maybe Samrat Virata there. Let's have a general nice talk. We'll share some experiences, how our lives are. So it is work, but it's a little bit more than that. And I think during the pandemic, I missed that. Even a few times when they would come for takeaways and we would just say hi and bye. It felt really warm to see people who. I'll be very honest with you. We have had guests who were dating, who got married in front of us, who have had kids, who celebrated the kids' 10th birthdays with us. So we've seen them progress in their lives, and they've seen us progress. But one thing that's remained with us is the respect and love for each other's, say, their and us are more than just customer and restaurant relationship. We are almost good friends, and we appreciate that. So I think it's very important that you have the kind of rapport with your guests coming in, and being a small establishment, it enables us to get that to a little bit deeper context. We can be a little bit closer to them.
Oh, I'm so very emotionally touched, actually speaking. It is because I do know about your hospitality. When my kid was born, my son was born, when he was 2 years old, he used to love your nachos and that salsa. And we were in Vinith was the time. And it was you were so very nice. When I said my son wants to have it, you yourself brought it, which is a very, very rare combo. You took the pain of coming to my home and you came and gave me this nachos and you said, Anand, can I have a look at your kid? This is what Mr. Virat keeps me connected with you till date. I tell you this. Because certain people come in my life and I never think of leaving them in whatever conditions I am. I'm a little emotional now, but I'm sure what I need, I felt so, I've opened up with you. Because I know that Virat, and now after growing to this level also, you still remain the same Virat to me. I'm so very, very happy about that.
So like you said, even if you are emotional, even for me, it's not really an emotional topic. From a very honest perspective, uh, everyone who comes to our restaurant is connected to us, and we feel it's our responsibility as good individuals to ensure that whatever we do is to the best interest of everyone coming in, and it's a genuine interest. We are not here just to make a statement or just to be on social media or to be posting photographs. Yes, that's part of business. I mean, we should all always do that. I am not saying do not be active on social media. I'm not saying do not advertise or do not call bloggers, or either way, that's how business grows. But somewhere, as individuals, I think we must all respect each other as human beings, and we should make sure that we can do whatever in our hands to make someone smile. And that is the ultimate goal of an individual, is to make sure that the other person is an happy space, a happy environment, and that's what we look forward to.
Very nice, very nice. Now you tell me the entire journey, your hospitality journey. What have you learned in this 14 years of experience in this hospitality life?
So, looking back, I think every day we are learning. I don't think there's a single day that goes that the same issue comes up. There's always a new issue around the corner. I think patience. Sometimes things look very difficult, and you go through circumstances which you do not know how to address. But you have to have the patience, the strength, and the courage to stand up to situations, because everything goes by. We have seen, the industry. We had the Kamla Mills incident that shook the industry. We have had terrorist attacks in Mumbai that shook the industry. We've had the pandemic that we have had to go through, and at every circumstance, at every corner, sometimes it looked like, how are we going to manage this? Like, it's not going to work out. Obviously this amount of fear or anxieties has to creep in. And what we have learned over time is that you need to stick to your guns. You need to be consistent with your approach towards your business. You need to be honest. And I think at certain points, you need to be even honest with your own suppliers, with your own stakeholders. Give them the right kind of information. We had a pandemic, where we have had a real crunch of finances everywhere. Your landlords and your creditors, everyone's worried whether the money is going to come through. But it's important to look them in the eye and tell them, hey, we are going to solve this. We are going to do this. You just need some time. You need to give us trust. And over those many years, I've realized the more honest you are, the more you can be absolutely truthful that this is what I'm going through, but I will stand by. I will solve the situation. I think you gain the trust of people working with you. And to be very honest, I've seen the other restaurateurs now, because of WhatsApp, you've got so many groups coming in. there's far more support. You put a question out there in a common forum, people help you. So it's the industry is developing, and you are one of them who you are always up for helping us. There are so many groups you're part of. If there's any requirement I put, there are 100 answers within 5 minutes. So there is competition, but yes, the industry is growing, right? The dynamics of the industry have changed. The margins have come down. That is for sure. But
Yes.
that does not mean that we need to compete with each other always. There is always a lot of friendly atmosphere that's growing around in the entire industry. And when you say what have I learned in the last 15 years, it's definitely one thing for sure, that your food speaks for itself, right? The food is the most important criteria in the entire restaurant industry. And to give good food at a competitive price at a good location is all that matters. Those are the key things. Yes, there are other things going to be involved, but good food, good price, and at a good location is what runs in today's market.
Very true, very true, very nicely spoken, very nicely spoken. Mr. Virat, I remember tasting some nice parathas and some fruit salad from your mom's hand at your place, at your house, once for a lunch. Your father, your mother, you, me, and Samrat, we all had lunch together. Now, as a restaurateur, we know Mr. Virat Kapoor. Now, we want to know how good is Mr. Virat Kapoor in the kitchen?
So I don't cook as much, but there is nothing in our menu in Sammy Sosa that I don't taste every day, every week. I am perpetually in the kitchen, nibbling away at every preparation there is. Because I might not be as gifted a chef because I'm not formally trained, but in my taste buds and the knowledge of my own cuisine is something I'm really proud of. I can look at the smallest of ingredients of my own food and tell you what has gone wrong or what has gone right. And that is something which, again, as you are a restaurateur, it's so important to know your own menu. A lot of people are so involved in seeing what else is going around, they might miss the picture of what's going around in their own kitchen. So I feel as a restaurateur, it's always very important that you have exact knowledge of what's going on in your kitchen, and that's something that I am really proud of. I know on a day-to-day basis who's made the food, who's in the preparation, how much time was done in. So, just by looking at the food, I'm able to make that the judgment, and that has helped the business grow for us. That's something that's been really helpful.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Now, as I know, the entire family of yours, and we are connected, your dad has connected with me, your mom has connected with me. However, I would like to ask this question in front of a show. How was my connect with you in all these years?
I have known you for 15 years, Miss Ananth, if I'm not wrong, right? I think you were associated with Time and Again back then, and we were just staying upstairs, and it's been a lovely journey. You obviously guided us in our first steps to open the restaurant, to get Sammy Sosa associated. So on a professional level, we have had a good experience. But even as a personal level, whenever I have been through a phase where I needed to know more, or I was doubting my own self, or I had certain questions, I've always felt that you were open for me to call you, whether it's 1 a.m. or it's in the middle of a meeting. You've always responded, and it's sort of a good feeling to know that there is someone who's as senior as you, who's as connected as you, to have the say the openness to be frank and ask you, hi, this is what's going on, how do I solve this? And I think you've always been very candid with us. I don't think sugar coated anything. You've seen us make all the three outlets. You've seen us now growing whatever we are, and it's always been a pleasure to have you as both a personal and a professional friend. So that's the kind of balance that you've had. And also, I've seen Touch of Class go from a small organization to now handling the licensing for such big organizations. It's a, I think, proud thing for us as well, because we've seen each other. So, you have always been a part of our organization growing up, and we are always a part of your organization. So I think that's mutual respect that we are carrying for each other. And I hope that it continues this way for the next 15 years as well.
I wish and I pray. I think I should have made the show for 90 minutes because 60 minutes is a very short time to speak with you. Now, after speaking to you, I understand that Mr. Virat has so many things to speak, and I am not able to. When the show is something what we are a 1 hour show, so this is just a. We will take an interval and we'll call you in the 50th episode or the 60th episode. Now, let me ask one before closing the show. Let me ask one simple question: where do we see Mr. Kapoor's in the year 2023?
So, to be honest, I think both of us are now venturing out in different directions. Sammy Sosa is a coherent part of our lives. I don't think it's ever separable from us. It's so embedded within us that Virat and Samrat and Sammy Sosa are one. That's part of us. But we are looking to grow with different opportunities. I'm looking to get involved with more health conscious brands, looking to venture into vegan foods, looking to maybe travel abroad and start up new ventures there. It might be with Sammy Sosa, might be some other brands, but the process is on. As on a personal level, both of us are obviously developing ourselves to be better human beings. Like I mentioned to you before as well, that we are now at a situation or now at a position where the pandemic has shown us that that we need to improve our own lifestyles, the way that we look at situations, become stronger and better uh, people as well. The amount of time that we spend at home, it gives you a little bit of reflection on how we can improve ourselves. By improving, I don't mean me personally, professionally as well. Look at things a little differently, analyze your situation better, take some time out. I think sometimes to think out of the box, you need to actually go out of the situation. So the moment you're in your restaurant, always you have the similar thought process. But now we both feel that we need to get out of the box, think a little differently. Do things that really make you happy. Do things that are you're more passionate about, and eventually, if you do it well enough, I think it becomes commercially viable. It's not always that you look at the commercial viability and you make things happen. It is important to make money because that's how the whole system evolves. But the more passion you involve in it and the more dedication and honesty you put, I think things grow. And both Samrat and me now are moving towards a direction where we feel our personal passion is something we need to pursue. So,
Okay.
not saying Sosa is not, but we want to now pursue. I am more towards vegan food, healthy eating. So, I'm going to pursue that. Maybe Samrat wants to do something with his riding, with his biking, etc. So, we are looking to follow our passions.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, Virat, thank you for your nice words, and it has been a nice journey with you. And I wish many more years that I grow with you, you grow with us, we all to grow together. It should be a win-win situation for all of us. And this pandemic has taught a lot to us, and we always say learning is earning. You remove the L out of the learn, it is the earn. So it is always learning and earning process. Both you and me are strictly following. Thanks for coming to the show. It's been indeed a privilege to have you here. And I am very, very proud to say that you have given an absolute answers to the questions what I have asked for you. Somewhere overwhelming. And this was the show I can call it as. This was the show. That much I can call it as. Out of 9 episodes, I will still say this was the wonderful show I had. Thank you so much for coming to the show, Mr. Virat.
It was a pleasure. Thank you for the kind words. And before we close this show, I would just like to thank every viewer who's made the effort to log on and take the time out. And also for every person who's ordered food from Sammy Sosa during this pandemic, making our business run. I give full credit for giving us support at times when we need it the most. And I'm happy to say that now going ahead, we will strive to make the experience at Sammy Sosa even better. And obviously, we would like to grow and see more people coming in, and hopefully the pandemic should end soon and we move to a happier lifestyle how we were before.
Thank you so much, Mr. Virat. You have to be 2 minutes more on the show. Let me call the technical team and a vote of thanks, Dimple Malani, Mr. Pradeep and Mr. Dimple, can they come on the screen? Thank you so much. Thank you. Dimple, have a vote of thanks given to our honorable guest for evening today.
Yes, definitely, sir. As we draw close to the 9th episode of the Hospitality Show, I would like to thank Mr. Pradeep Jodani, the technical head of the show, Dr. Ananth Vaidyanathan, the visionary and the creator of this wonderful event, and Mr. Virat Kapoor, our honorable chief guest, for making this show a super successful. And last but not the least, I would like to thank all our online viewers for being a part of this event. So, ladies and gentlemen, till our next event, signing off from the show, Dimple Madhani, Shubh Ratri, and good night.
Very nice having you on the show, Mr. Virat. Looking forward for more days to come. We will definitely call you for the 50th episode. Mr. Virat Kapoor is the guest, and that will be for 1.5 hours. I'm making the date. I will tell you the date is the 10th episode. More 40 weeks to go, but you will be on the 50th episode till my word team. Thank you so much for coming to the show. Take care, stay safe. Let us catch up together early.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Well, viewers, you saw the 9th episode of the Hospitality Show presented by such a class and powered by Wits Hotels and Resorts. This show has been indeed incredible by having Mr. Virat Kapoor, who spoke very, very nicely, very elegantly, a young entrepreneur who has got a thorough knowledge of what he is doing and what he has not to be doing. It is always to know what you have to do, and it's always better to know what you should not be doing. So this is pandemic time. Help the poor, give food, feed the poor. If you cannot give 10, feed 1. Ours is mission hunger. We believe in it. We still do our whatever we can do for the poor peoples. So I seek everyone who are watching this show to see what best you can do in this pandemic times. Please take care of yourselves. Please take care of your elders. Please take care of the kids. Pandemic is still not over. And next week, the show is going to be with the giants in the industry, Bike Hospitality, where we have the director, Archana Patodia ji, and Ashish Patodia, who is going to be on the show next week, same time, 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock, the Hospitality Show, episode number 10. Until then, this is Dr. Ananth Vaidyanathan signing off on behalf of such a class from Mega Classic Banquets, Borivali West. Thank you, take care, love you all.